Welcome to the MaxBet Podcast, a podcast dedicated to everything gaming. I'm Landon Jones, here with Mike McKiskey. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the MaxBet Podcast, another podcast for you, the people. Hope you're enjoying us on your drive home, and I don't know what else to say. I'm happy you're tuning in.
So am I. I'm happy everybody's tuning in, hanging out, doing a little windshield time with the boys, or maybe you got us going in your office. Maybe just second screen in the old pod on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe you're just in your office not doing shit, listening to us talk about stuff.
You can listen and be productive. That's a thing.
People can do that?
I do that all the time. Do you not do that? You single track? You're like, I have to do this?
I do whatever I want.
Can you have the TV on
I just didn't
and
know
work?
that everybody else could do whatever they want.
That's what they do, man. Unless they got some firewall that excludes them from listening to cool podcasts online.
Cool podcasts. What's up? What's new?
That lime green sweater's new. How you feeling? How you feeling about that bad boy?
New.
I know, it looks good.
It's nice.
Yeah.
That is not new.
This is not new. Like this
That
shit.
is old.
You know, I was annoyed. I had a different shirt on. And then as I'm going in, I'm coming around the truck. And I was doing a project. My tail light is a little cracked. It's not broken. It works fine, but it's sharp.
Yep.
I caught my sleeve, ripped the whole sleeve off on my way here, so I had to throw this old shirt on for today.
And it was a collared shirt. You don't.
I had a collared, but I know I was getting fancy
look
for it. I thought it was good, man. Post G2E, we're doing our own thing.
Yeah.
Nope, back to the old T-shirt. So
those T-shirts are about to go out of stock because we're about to shut that
merch store down.
Merch store's down.
If you want these, you got to get it soon, and then we'll open up a new one.
Do we still have a promo code?
MaxBet 20% off all MaxBet gear in the store.
Yeah, this was not planned, by the way. But if you guys want to buy some MaxBet
Yeah, we're
shirts,
just talking
MaxBet promo. What's the code?
MaxBet 20, number 20, all one word, easy.
And if you didn't get that, go ahead and do a quick rewind.
Yeah, do it again. Back 15 seconds. We'll say it once more.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. We're 2 weeks into not having a job. 3 weeks, probably. 4 weeks.
We have our own job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more fun. You know what job I want?
What?
Hanging out with Bezos, going to space.
That's a good job.
Shatner, 90 years old, just got done.
William Shatner?
He went to space. Do you see that? He went,
No.
I think today or yesterday. He was in space he comes down, and I don't know what your response. What do you think your response would be going to space? Like, how would you handle that? Because I feel like the first round of guys, Branson's crew and Bezos crew, they all come down and they're like Armageddon tough, right? Like they're Ben Affleck at the end of the movie, just walking off, hard as nails. Shatner's crying like a baby, right? Which I would imagine would be my experience, right? Like if you get into the atmosphere and you're going, I can see the sun like with my eyes in space, like that would be pretty cool. Like I don't know how far you could see, but you're like, that's the moon right there. Like, I don't know. I'd probably have emotions about it, but what do you think? Like, you think you'd be like a kid in a candy store? You think you'd be like Affleck at the end of Armageddon? How would you respond to that one?
It just depends on my experience in space.
Full Shatner. Well, basically, if you check it, you get like 11 minutes or something where you're right on the edge of Earth's atmosphere, right? So you're in space, but you're not like cruising around like
I
Vin
wouldn't
Diesel.
be looking for the moon or the sun. I'd be looking for UFOs and aliens.
Well, that's your thing.
Yeah.
Because you know they're out there. You're the Fox Mulder of this generation.
Correct.
Any experience yet? Have you seen UFOs? Have you
I don't know if
met
I'm
an
ready
alien?
to go public with
No,
this
we're
yet.
keeping that behind the scenes. All right. Potential alien sighting from Landon, but we'll
Not
we'll
potential. UFOs exist, and yeah, they're out there.
That's what we're doing.
The space
truth
is the
out
final
there.
frontier. We're not the only ones cruising around on this beautiful universe.
I hope you're right. Only because I don't know if Bezos is the guy, but we're going up right now. We got it's like almost like I don't know what you even call it. You go up, you stick your head into space for 10 minutes, and you come down. Cost you $500,000.
Just like a little puppet show. Like,
Yeah. Hey, space, we're here. Me and these guys are floating, right? Like, okay, fair. But I think what would really be fun is actually flying around. Like if you had whatever the plane equivalent
like
rocket
a George
ship.
Jetson car.
Yeah, you're actually Nice sound effect. But yeah, you're just cruising around. You're going, hey, I'm going to swing by Mars, see what's going on over there. Not even that you're getting out, but just to sightsee. Like that would be. We won't see that, I don't think, in our life, unless you're right about other aliens out there flying in, going, hey guys, come jump in. We'll show you around.
Well, you think about that, like the Wright brothers, when they invented the first plane, they're like, we flew over Nebraska. I've been to Nebraska.
North Carolina.
Like,
Kitty Hawk, North
really,
Carolina.
whatever.
Yeah.
North Carolina. We've been to North Carolina. We've been to Nebraska. We've been
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You flew over it. So you went to space,
That's true.
but you just kind of like peek holed in and out,
Yeah.
right? I can't wait till we're going this week. I got to go to the moon with my parents. It sucks.
We're going on vacation to the moon. We're going to bounce around, feel light.
Might go to Uranus. I don't know if we'll have enough time.
Pretty nice little Saturday. You never know. You never know where it's going to go. Yeah. So anyway, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I guess I need new friends. Apparently, I got to find someone with a space shuttle.
There's like two guys. So it's either Sir Richard or Bezos. I don't think he's Sir Bezos, but he goes, those are the guys. But I was just laughing. So it's like, you get done with it, and Shatner's just 90 years old crying. He was, the king of the space nerds. And then Bezos literally just goes, hey, grab me a champagne bottle. And while this guy's literally pouring his soul out to this reporter who's like, he's just had a life-changing experience, Bezos just starts popping champagne and spraying it on all these girls. And I'm like, that guy could care less what this guy's feeling. He's having his own party. He's like, I went to space now twice. Let's go party it up. So that's how I was laughing. I'm like, which of those guys would I be? I unfortunately think I'd be more Shatner going, man, the weight of the moment hit me. And I'm just kind of feeling in my feelings. But, I'd love to say I'd be the Ace of Spades bottle popping, big dog, but I don't see it.
Man, can you imagine going from like, hey, I think I'm going to sell books online
Yeah.
to spraying William Shatner in the face with champagne saying, I just went to space.
He's got the famous Amazon, literally
Write a book about that.
Ted Lasso style, just Amazon written on the wall.
Believe.
His desk was a door, right? Just going, I don't know, why would I pay for a desk? I got to pay for books, right? And
I got 8 doors in this building. I got 8
so
desks.
now I got desks, right? And to your point, now he's richest or whatever, top 2 richest guys in the world, going to space, doing whatever he wants. Like, just because he thought to sell books online in the 90s.
Yeah.
How nuts is that?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully our idea is big like that. I don't actually care about being the guy that owns the space program. If I can afford a seat on the rocket, I'd be happy. I'm in.
Yeah. We'll archive this episode. We're going to space.
We're going to space.
I'm going to spray you in the face with champagne when we get done.
Yeah, perfect. Because you can't spray it up there because it would just float in the air. Yeah. I guess you would eat the bubbles, right?
Little space bubbles.
Like I'm hammered in space. I wonder how that affects you. You go to space, would it hit you harder?
I don't know. It's a good question.
And I guess the bigger question would be, since you're off the sauce, would you get back on the sauce if you could drink it in space? Like if we had champagne or whatever.
No, but I'd get high as hell. I'd be smoking.
Space joint.
I'd eat like 4 edibles and then be like, we're on the moon. It's like, no, you haven't even taken off yet.
You haven't even left. You're just hanging out.
Feels great.
Feels good. Feels like I'm on the moon.
That's too good.
That is hilarious.
All right. Well, who do we have today? That was a fun intro.
That was a good time. Space.
I don't even know where we are.
We're bringing it back to Earth here.
We're bringing it back to Earth.
Oh, man. Speaking
Good
of connecting things. So, yeah, we have Noah Akers joining us. So, COO for Akers Group, I guess. I don't know. They have like a lot of little things they're into, but son of the father, John Akers, who we had on. And Noah's been kind of the driving force and one of the main spokesmen for Akers and their foundation system and some of the new things they're doing with cashless and bonusing. So all the cool stuff we normally talk about in our sponsorship intro for Akers, that's what he's driving, and he's going to come in today and chop it up.
Yeah, I want to figure out how this all ties together with all the different AI companies and system companies and and Akers come. I mean,
it's interesting, right? Because there's so many things like now that we get to be exposed to where people are creating cool things, but you're going, man, they don't all play together,
right?
You might have this cool thing that doesn't integrate to that cool thing, and so it's like maybe I think what he's trying to solve is maybe we can build a playground where everybody can hang out and build a cool experience,
go to space,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, cool. Let's without further ado.
No further ado.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
children of all ages.
Ah, you took it from me. Yeah.
Sorry. I thought we were tag teaming that.
All right, let's go.
All right, later.
What's up, man? Welcome.
Thank you. It's
man.
great being here.
Yeah, appreciate you joining us. Thanks for sponsoring us, by the way. So let's get that pleasantry out of the way right off the hop. So, yeah, it's been fun for us, and it's always exciting to learn more about what you guys are doing and cranking. But what I will say right off the hop is I appreciate your outfit, because one thing I never knew going into like being a founder, starting the company, was you can wear whatever the hell you want. I can't tell how many meetings we go to. This morning I met one of the presidents of the local banks here, and he comes in looking like this, and I go, this is a different world, right? Like when you're working, in a company, it's like suits or button ups all the time, and now we walk into meetings and it's like, yeah, everybody's in t-shirts and cool shoes and hanging out. So I'm glad we're right at home here.
Yeah, it's my daily gear. You can't plan otherwise.
That's the move. Yeah, it's the way to go.
You wonder when you realize that you don't need a full suit to do business. Like, it doesn't add any value.
It's interesting, because I almost think now, if if you're on the other side of it, you're looking at the suit guy. Okay, so you're not the guy, right? Like, you're the guy's guy, right? The main guy has a suit guy that he's going to send over, but I'm looking for, like Lopez always in t-shirts, and like I remember Side Games, Barry Cotto, who's their CEO forever, would wear black t-shirts. That was his thing, and it was like, yeah, he was the guy, right? And so you just start to realize, weirdly, that's what the bosses wear.
Yeah, right? Well, actually, so before I went to Acres, I was working at the Riviera for a few years, and I suit and tie every day, right? Yeah. So first day I go to work at Acres,
suit and tie.
Not suit and tie, but I was wearing a nice shirt and some slacks and some dress shoes, and somebody pulled me aside and was like, hey.
They're like, dude,
it's not necessary.
Yeah. They're like, you're lucky your name's on the building, bud, because we'd kick you out of here with that suit on or whatever it was. Yeah, it's funny.
So is everyone in your family in the gaming industry?
No, not at all. So I have a sister who's a state senator, actually, in the state of Oregon. Yeah, she's a pretty interesting person. And I have a younger brother, Jonas, who's, I don't even know what he does. He's a mysterious guy, but
a man of mystery.
Pretty smart guy. Funny, he's like a programmer, crypto miner, stuff like that.
Well, he's into all the cool stuff.
Definitely.
That's always the world, I feel like, where I don't understand it, like all the crypto stuff, but I'm going, there's people that understand it and they make a lot of money.
Yep.
Right. So if you can get in and like geek out on whatever it is, Bitcoin, and now there's like 1,000 different currencies, there's money to be made. But I could not explain it to you if you put a gun to my head. Right. So
yeah, it's a big world, the crypto world.
So is it weird then? So like, I guess like a lot of times you say, are you the oldest sibling?
No, I'm the third out of four.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was gonna say, because a lot of times you go, well, family business, my oldest will take the helm, and the other three or however many they'll go do what they want. But so what made you end up following into kind of what I would think is the family business, which is kind of gaming and creation?
So actually, as I grew up here in Vegas, my dad was involved in gaming, and I always really enjoyed working and helping out, going to the office, things like that. And I always took a natural interest to gaming. Yeah. Really, I've always liked casinos and gaming. Sure. And so I've always wanted to work in this field. So it was natural for me to kind of get into it with my dad, but I didn't actually go in with my dad for quite a while, because he actually sold his company and retired for quite a few years. Yeah. And I was doing my own stuff. I actually, right out of college, I had a online business where I sold lasers and flashlights.
Cool.
Right? Oh, really? Nice.
And so it's kind of a really random.
Like those laser pens, you mean?
These laser pointers, like green laser pointers, are super bright. And actually, this was shortly after like 9/11, and one of my customers, like in the first 2 months of being in business, he pointed a laser at like a police helicopter and got arrested on like federal terrorism charges and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
But they put my website in the link of the AP story, and like my website, I was like sold out for 3 years, and I was making really good money working 2 hours a day, and I thought I had it made. But just going through life and just my dad started to get back into the business, and I was always trying to talk him into going back into gaming and kind of just merged up eventually. And
that's wild. How crazy? Like, obviously you wouldn't support
laser focused.
That's right. Yeah.
It's kind of, I had to get it in there. I wasn't even gonna let you finish.
Very punny, my friend. Well, I was gonna say, like, how crazy when you go and you obviously would never suggest to your clients, like, hey, you could go take down a helicopter, annoy the police,
do something illegal for me.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, who would have thought that's the big business boom? And it's like, hey, we just sold 3 years worth of lasers in one AP story because everyone's like, hey, we got it at Noah's Laser Shop. And
it doesn't surprise me. His dad built the whole business on a speak and spell, and he almost took down a police helicopter with a laser.
Not him. A customer.
Friend.
Yeah, he did nothing wrong here. That's hilarious.
So you guys are back. I mean, your dad came back out of retirement. What was that?
About 8 years now, like? 8-9 years now. You've been back in the game?
We've been back, so me personally, I've been working at Acres since 2013. Yeah. And I think he's been back involved since 07, 08, something like that. But we just kind of transitioned to this new foundation system that really we started working on it in like 17, 18, and we actually had it kind of ready to roll out right before the pandemic, and that kind of interrupted things for a little bit, but found a way to persevere and coming out of it really well. And I think that there's a lot of changes going around in society, obviously, and even casinos are looking to change their business model, and some of the things that maybe they weren't open to in 2019, they're open to now. And the big thing, I think, is just where do you store your data? What do you do with your data? How much data do you get?
Yep.
How can you change the customer experience? And that's what our product is great for.
Yeah. So how does that start? Is it just you and your old man? I mean, I'm sure there's a whole team of
Just
guys,
me.
but like just you. Well, I was gonna say you're just sitting around the dinner table or having a beer, going, we should just go disrupt this whole systems business, right? Because I mean, it started, if I'm understanding foundations, started as kind of a core system bonusing thing, and then pandemic, you guys were able to kind of quickly pivot and go, well, and cashless, and right, you added a lot of modules to it. But how'd you even start that business?
Well, yeah, so I know that for a long time, one of the reasons why my dad was really reluctant to get back into gaming and specifically systems is really the cost of entry is really high. The regulation's really high, and there's a lot of IP everywhere. There's like a lot of, it's a minefield. So getting in is risky and difficult. And so we had this application, we still have it, called Kai. And what Kai does is it's a mobile device, and it links to the system event stream on the floor. The employees carry around a mobile device, and we pre-configure service responses to just system events that are related to service issues. So like a paper out, a jackpot, whatever. So it tells the employee where to go, what to say, who they're talking to. And we did that, and we expected to layer more bonusing and more personal relationships on top of that. And as we got bigger and bigger with Kai, we noticed that the system vendors really would work extra hard to try to like make their data more difficult to interface with, and they would try to actively, scare people away from doing Kai. And we got to a critical point where it just became almost declared you cannot interface to Kai. And we said, well, you know what? We're actually not getting enough data to begin with. So let's just let's go to the source. Right. And I remember, hats off to my dad. He's super smart guy. He's a great engineer. And he, I think funny thing is one of his hobbies is keeping tabs on the latest electronic components and just things like that. So he's just a store of just random knowledge about electronics. And so he was able to build what we call today Foundation. Pretty much on his own with a team of a few dedicated employees who've been around for a long time. And so here we are. Yeah,
that's cool. So does that, so again, we kind of have a sense of it, but the foundation, that would sit on top of an existing system, replaces this, how does that, in its perfect, let's say ideal situation, how would a casino go about taking that on, and what function does it serve?
So first of all, the benefits to Foundation, primarily you get all of your data in real time. It's, basically 1,000 times more data than what casinos are able to get today. But I could not go to a casino and say, hey, here's this new system that you can plug in and get all your real-time data, because that would mean that they have to rip out their existing system. And there's too much just mission-critical stuff there. Makes it too risky. So what we did is we invented a process called SaaS sharing. And so we plug our device directly into the slot machine SaaS port, the primary SaaS port. And it has to be on primary if you want to do cashless transactions and bonusing. Anything that has to do with changing the credit meter, you have to be on the primary SaaS port. But we can... So you unplug the existing system from the primary SaaS port, plug our device in, then plug the existing system into our device. And so our device, Foundation, extracts all of the data in real time and gives the casinos a proprietary interface to write back to the game. That means they can change the credit meter anytime they want. So that means they could do any bonus on any game at any time for any reason. And they could also interface to any app or cashless provider to put cashless payment on the game. But so we do that through our section, right? But we also kind of provide that feed to the legacy system to maintain its operability. So now the casino can still do all the reporting, all the accounting, anything that, bonusing related that they like to do with their existing system. All that remains working as well as it was the day before you installed Foundation.
Interesting.
Are you guys live at any casinos right now with this product?
Yeah. So actually, we're in Penn. So we got 3 casinos in Pennsylvania with Penn National Gaming.
I've heard of them.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Small little slot company running the whole nation. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And what are the results that you guys have been seeing with your new system in place?
Well, it works.
Hey, no crash, no downtime. That's big.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So it's interesting, but like, so you say like, hey, your guys are able to collect more data than traditionally. How is it possible? Like, I'm surprised that like if the data exists, that the current system provider of whichever one it is couldn't also get that data. Like, why is that? Maybe you don't want to share your secret sauce, but it's just interesting going. I'm just surprised that that's possible.
Right. So the primary limiting factor is, in my understanding, is the legacy hardware. So the hardware that the existing systems use, they're very old, right? So back when they were designed, there was limited memory, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
So slot machines speak a language called SAS,
Yep.
right? And I think that there's about 120 different rows of SAS data. We're able to, anytime one of those SAS meters changes, we report it in real time. The existing systems, I believe, they only collect 15 to 20 of those, and they only do it at distant intervals. Like, so between like a card in and a card out, between what's called a system event. So bill in, ticket out, those kind of things.
Gosh, yeah.
So if you want to talk to a player in real time and leverage what's going on with their actual experience, you can't, because you have no visibility into what that player is doing right now.
Interesting.
So what you're saying is like the data exists. So like we were gambling yesterday. So we put $200 in a game, and we're like, you would know that spin, you went up $5, then you lost 10, then you're up 20. Now you're down half your bankroll. Like, and you would have like that data's there. It's not currently being collected by others, but you guys are able to say, yeah, we have all that data, and we could put rules in place. Say you're at half your bankroll. Maybe we send you something or a pop-up message or whatever that is. So that's interesting. So you can do it all real time. What's the current time for the other guys? Like, so you're saying we'll do it right now. So they're saying it's only a ticketed event, so it could be 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. Like, how far behind, I guess, is everyone else if you're in real time?
Well, I
just curious.
Can't really speak authoritatively on
just
on
roughly,
their product,
no worries.
But yeah, there's no such thing as real time. I think that for for certain factors, maybe you can say like, oh, I got this player ID at this specific time. So there's maybe some sort of real time, but anything like you're talking about the credit meter, no, you can't do that. And that's a huge one, because if you want to know how I'm doing as a player, I think the number one metric is the credit meter.
For sure.
If I put in $100 and I've played it down to $5, I would say I'm probably not going to reinsert.
I'm having a bad day.
Right? Well, so if I could hit you up and you got $5 left and you started with 100, I can say, hey, put in 20 and I'll give you a 30 in credits, or I'll give you 5 in extra free play or something like that, or make you eligible for this special jackpot. That's something that could change the gaming experience and make people play more.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
I also like the video poker analytics you guys are doing. I think that's
well,
awesome.
You're a video poker guy.
Yeah, because
we have to ask him the question. So he keeps asking me like I'm my last name's Akers, but all of a sudden he goes, is that a camera? Because the way it shows in the promo and the way like I've been educated on it, it shows like a camera feed going down, going optimal, suboptimal, right? But that's not actually, you don't require a camera looking at the game to run that, right? No. It's just on the back end, it knows what you've done, or how does it actually?
Yeah, it's just on the back end. That's just kind of a marketing video, just
that makes
kind of
sense.
show
video.
What we're doing.
Yeah,
thanks.
Great video, confused Landon. So that's all we're
I
saying.
think he confused you too.
I'm going to say you confused me, but fair enough. Well, not anymore, because he just confirmed what I thought was true. But yeah, all good.
But so that's a perfect example of what can be done with granular data.
Yeah.
Right? So part of SAS is the actual cards that you're dealt.
Yeah.
Right. So I can, based on the cards that you were dealt, I can map out what the optimal solution is. And if you don't play that optimal solution, because I know exactly the choice that you made, I can map out the theoretical difference between your play and the optimal solution. So by adding that up and accruing that into a maybe a player-based account, if we move our marketing to that account and just say, hey, I'm only going to give you 30% of what that delta was, you're never going to go underwater to a player, and you can stop marketing to the advantage players, which I think is what a lot of people are afraid of.
Wow. I mean, this is way over my head.
Well, it's not gonna help
if you don't know how to write code, or you're not a data analytics guy, you're sitting on this podcast like, what am I going to do with this information?
Well, it's good information. Like, if you're thinking about it, here's the thing. If you're the casino, you don't have to write the damn code. You just have to use the product, right? Yeah. So it's like, I would assume, and again, I've never run a casino, so take this for what it's worth. But if I'm saying, like here locally where video poker is like a king game, you're going, I'm probably giving away too much.
Right.
I just am, because most of the time, there's no way to segment that Landon's really good and I'm less good, right? And so you would give us the same bonus, and he's probably taking advantage of you, and I'm maybe getting my fair due. But that's up to them to figure it out. Those guys have to implement it.
So here's the question that I'm thinking of, which I'm assuming that others are thinking of listening to it. So you have your base system, Sci Games, Aristocrat, whatever system you have on your property, and that collects data at so many different points, right? Then you have the companies like Optics and Gaming Analytics, and they're collecting different data, right? I don't know if it's real time or not. Where does your system take either Gaming Analytics, Optics, and then also like
how does it all fit together?
Yeah, how does it all fit together? Because it's getting confusing. Like Gaming Analytics has this AI program that collects certain points of data. Same with Optics. Yeah. Tells you how to take your marketing dollars, blah, blah, blah. And then you have the actual slot system, and then you have your system. So how does that all interact? Are you guys working?
Or does it?
Or does it?
Yeah.
Well, no. So if you look at Gaming Analytics or Optics, like they're in the exact solution. They're basically in the same situation that we were with Kai, where you're reliant upon that legacy system for data.
Okay.
You can only get the data that it provides you at the intervals that it provides it at.
Right.
Right. And so by virtue of that and what we already discussed, you're limited.
Yeah.
Right. You're very limited in what you can do. So if those guys migrate over to Foundation and both those companies are, excited to do that, and we're excited to have them, but now they can provide that much better of analytics because there's more data and it's more rapid. Have
you not been talking to like Optics and Gaming Analytics and say, hey, how can we take what you've created, merge with what we're created, and create like a full package?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm not creating something new here. You have been talking to them? Okay.
Yeah, he has been away.
Introduce me, please.
I'm like, I got this, dude. I'm just creating companies.
Landon thought he just invented the whole solution. Well, it is interesting because to your point, it's the data in for an analytics thing is really the whole thing. Yep. So the more data you can pump in, the more they can analyze, the more they can kind of give you info. And I remember one of the customers when I was doing mobile, I'm not going to name their name, but they were big on data warehousing, but they go, look, it's 24-hour delay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we collect everything in kind of quote unquote real time for 24 hours. And then it doesn't update to the main thing for 24 hours. So their casino system will see it all same day. But if you're a plugin and you're the analytics, you have to wait a day, because they won't let you see the live environment. They sit that next level, like one step back. So it's a great system, but it's a day old, right? Yep. And maybe that's still better than a 30-day report or an aging thing, but it's not real time. It's not even the same day for some of these guys. So,
and then I think that there's an inefficiency right now. So there's 4 primary system providers, and they all provide their proprietary packages, right? So you got to get, if you have the say Aristocrat system, you're on the Aristocrat bonusing, you're on the Aristocrat reporting,
right?
And so each of these 4 companies has kind of like the same competing pillar of products. Mm-hmm. But why? Like, that's not efficient. I mean, couldn't we all migrate to a centralized platform that extracts all the data, and we all just make apps that go on top of this data, and boom. So now we have a much better solution for the customer and for the operation. And I think that that's where we ultimately want to take it. So we have been talking to Optics and Gaming Analytics and Viz Explorer and a bunch of these other data companies and bonusing providers and all these things. So we want to provide a platform that anybody can create for, and it's up to the casino to decide if they want to buy that solution or not.
Wow.
I mean, I like the flexibility of, like, in theory, I would like the flexibility of it if I was running a show going, well, you got better bonusing than him, but he might have better player account management. And so you go, well, I'll just plug those 2 things in. I get the best bonus and the best management. Whereas now it feels like it's almost like the old truck debate. Like when you're buying a Chevy, you're like, well, you're going to get the best transmission in the game, but Dodge might give you the best engine. It's like Ford, that's what I drive. It's like, well, you get a little bit of both. You're second place in each, feels good. But you have to make that compromise. Whereas here, so same thing. Like if you're buying a system, you may say, hey, I don't know enough about them, but one of them might have the best bonusing. Is that more important than the management system? Because if you got a crappy management but great bonusing, you're stuck with that partner, instead of this new world where potentially you could just plug in the best of breed and do whatever you want.
Absolutely. And I think that we're not competitive. Like, I don't really think that we don't consider ourselves competitive with the legacy system providers. We want to work with them. And I foresee the day when they'll come to us and say, hey, we want to integrate our apps and our bonuses and our reporting onto your platform. And it's up to the casinos to decide who's best and what works best for them.
Do you think they would say that in reverse? Like, do they think that you're competing with them, or do they think?
Yeah,
I was just curious. Like,
can we just solve that right now?
No,
if you're listening and you're a system developer, they're not after you. Let's work together, people.
Let's all be friends. Drive the
whole business. Kumbaya.
Yeah, they're all going to, you say kumbaya, and they're like, I don't know, man, publicly traded earnings, I got to figure it out. But yeah, no, that's, it sounds great. So how is it, like, how could that actually happen? Like, it would have to be, somebody would say, like a casino, I'm assuming, would have to say, listen, I'm not doing this one-stop shop. I'm going to adopt this model where we want to plug in best of breed and then kind of force the hand of these other companies to participate in this sort of open environment. It's the only way really to drive it, right? Like the customer has to say.
Yeah, they say what they want. I mean, so look at, let's say that you have a large casino operator on a IGT platform.
Yep.
By virtue, Side Games cannot sell their system bonuses to them.
Correct.
So if that operator gets Foundation, I open it up to Side Games and Aristocrat and anybody who wants to develop for that. So that presents a bigger market opportunity for everybody.
There's so many different layers to this. Like you look at like the real time while you're at the casino, and then there's the touch points after you leave the casino, whether you through social media or through mail or through how you get players back. I mean, there's so many layers to it.
Well, listening to it reminds me of like Salesforce, right? Yeah. So like with Salesforce, not saying it's a SaaS model, but just in general saying, or different kind of SaaS, software as a service model, but like where you say, look, you buy Salesforce, but there's so many widgets or modules that you can buy and go, look, Salesforce doesn't organically do that, but you know who does it? This guy. And if you want to do it, just plug it in. Right. They have their own little fee, just like they would have, Side Games that have their bonusing fee, but you just plug it in. So everybody's getting paid on their thing, and it just sits together in this nice ecosystem. And it made it really friendly, on our end for the CRM to use that because Salesforce wasn't organically a contract system, but they plug one in and then you have, different things. So
yeah, and I'm old enough to remember when I was a kid, Mac, Apple, you couldn't get Word.
Yeah,
right.
You couldn't get Excel. Like everything was proprietary. And I think that in some ways the casino industry still operates like that, where everything has to be proprietary to what the box is. And I think that there's a new and better way that's a lot more efficient for everybody.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Like the change part is hard, right? The inertia, especially in this biz, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I'm always surprised when casinos switch systems because I just think like I worked at Bally for a while. I was never in systems, but I'd see those guys and how much of a grind it was to do those deals. And you're going, how pissed were you at your current provider that you went through the headache of like a year-long RFP and made the switch, and then you have to go through what's probably a 3 to 6 month process to switch. It's like, man, you must have been pretty mad.
I've never heard a positive thing about a system. No matter what system you have, someone's pissed off. Like, every system someone hates.
The guys in systems would always say the best system is the one you don't have.
Yeah.
So whatever one you have, you hate, and then the next one is the better one. And
unless it's Foundation.
Unless we're here talking about this.
Until now.
Optimal poker analyzer.
That's it. Yeah. Well, we got some other cool stuff. So he's more the poker guy. So like we'll play. I usually just put in my money and let him play because I'm like, you're faster. You're better. He's more the advantage guy. For me though, what I like is your pay action thing. So this new sports deal where it's like, hey, I could be watching the game, night score, bang, I get a bonus. So was that just you gambling one night going, this would be cool if I could just bet more or get a bonus on that? Or how does that come to life?
Well, yeah, basically. I mean, I think that gamblers really like to combine things.
For
right?
sure.
Like the whole concept of a parlay, and if this happens and this happens and I get paid extra. And then I've always been frustrated by the thought of a slot machine, and it's like a silo, right? It has no idea what's going on in the machine next to it or across the floor or in the outside world.
Sure.
And so now with Foundation, we can actually blend in data sources that are external to the casino. So we could build in bonuses based on a live sports score. It could be the weather. It could be the price of Bitcoin. Anything that you want that is is tied to a database could cause a bonus event or some other event to occur on a slot machine.
You know what would be interesting?
Tell me.
Talking to Katie Lever about the lottery.com online and how you can buy lottery tickets through your mobile app.
Yes.
So you're gambling and you get like $2 worth of player points or whatever. And it says, would you like a lottery ticket? The current lottery is $1 billion. And you're like, yes. And then it just gives you a lottery ticket. For a chance to win $1 billion on you playing, $100.
It's pretty cool.
And
that's pretty wild.
That's amazing because that's what we talk about every day. If I can get the real-time data and I can bridge it to, say, an app or, some type of mobile interface, now I can communicate to the customer with knowledge of how that customer's doing, how they're faring, what their personality is, whatever. But if I can present to them all these new opportunities about sales, like, hey, bet on this game, buy this lottery ticket, enroll in this promotion, whatever it is. So now we can really start to increase the amount of revenues that casinos generate.
It changes your experience, right?
You
go to the D, you lose $100.
Yeah. Okay.
But you're like, but I have a ticket for possibly winning $1 billion.
Yeah.
The chances of that happening are slim to none, but you feel like you still have a chance. You still have a dog in the fight.
Look, you gave me something, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what you talk about, like different rewards and things. Like that's why you get a line out the door for people picking up beach chairs in Indiana because they want something in exchange for sometimes they lose $100 and they say, you know what, you appreciate me. And the idea of being able to get appreciated in another gambling sense, like in your example, it's cool. Or free play or whatever. Yeah. I never thought about it that. So I've always become such a sports head. Like I just never thought about other things. To your point, like out here you go, hey, it's July, the weather hits 110, bonus time, right? Like it's a weird thing, but like it's cool to have those other external outputs and just be able to say, hey, whatever it is, you can get creative. I mean,
and it could be any data event. And I think that what casinos are looking for is just reasons to keep the player engaged.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes like we use the analogy of, I put in $100 and I played it down to $5. And I think that we all play the machine and, first we're picturing ourselves winning the big jackpot and then we're enjoying the sights and the sounds. And then, okay, well now we didn't win and we're getting kind of sick of it. And like, okay, well I better play off my money.
Yeah. Right.
But we could hit them up and change that experience. And I think there's a right time to do that. And with all this new data, I think that we're going to discover the right time and it's a different time for every player. Yeah. Right. But if we can find that exact right moment and match it up with the exact right offer, then we're booming.
Yeah. It creates a whole new world of just player experience and loyalty and all kinds of different stuff, which is cool.
So what excites you most about the gaming industry outside of like player systems and your world?
Architecture.
Architecture and coding and everything that I lay over my head. Like what do you like to gamble, obviously, or?
I like to play. Yeah, I like to bet sports a lot.
Cool.
I used to like to play a lot of poker, but I don't like it so much anymore. I don't know why. But for me, what excites me, I mean, I think that we really want to just make change. Yeah. Right. And it wouldn't matter if I'm in the gaming industry or the boating industry.
Yeah. You just want to change an industry.
We want to make good products. Yeah. Right. And we don't want to design a product that we can wall off and protect ourselves at the expense of our customer. We want to make stuff that just moves forward, and we don't want to represent that we have a monopoly on good ideas. Yeah. But we do have some good ideas, but we've created a platform that can be a facilitator of other people's good ideas.
Your dad created progressive systems on slot machines. That's dope. Like that to me is that's a change.
Fun fact.
It's just cool, man. Like the Akers family, that's pretty rad.
We've won some progressives, so we're grateful for them. Yeah.
But I've learned that his original plan was to be a pig farmer.
Yours?
No,
your dad's.
My dad. If it was his, he's out of here. No chance.
I just heard that like recently that he's going to be a pig
farmer. What stopped you from not liking poker? I'm just curious because Mike and I entered a poker tournament last night. Down at the Golden Nugget. Well, I lost because I got so tired. Like
that was the thing.
I'm in it for 4 hours, and I'm like, I'm still at the same chip stack. I'm going to be here for another 4 hours. Yeah, like, all in. I'm done. Get me out of here.
It took me 1 hour, and I was like, I'm doing the math. Going, there's like 100 people still in this thing. I'm all in, and the guy called me with good hands. I'm like, all right, I'll pick up 2 hours of my life and feel better about it.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I think to be good at poker, you got to like clear your entire mind and your entire day or your entire week. In the case of a poker tournament, and I guess where I'm in life with my kids and business and stuff is and married. Like she don't like that either. So
believe me, got to spend time. So 14 hours to win a tournament's no good. Well, we were sitting there. I was screwed. So we played it was a 7 p.m. Start time, but we're still playing, and the 1 p.m. guys were still in the room. So they're making an announcement. If you're in the 1 p.m. tournament, your level's going up, whatever, blinds, and then I'm like, the 1 p.m., it's like 8 o'clock. Like these guys are
like
7, 8 hours. And it wasn't final table, right? Yeah, I'm like, okay, we got to go.
25 tables.
We got to get out of here because I'm like, I didn't bargain to be out till midnight. I was thinking 2 hours and done, but.
Yeah, your hall pass only extended past 9 o'clock. You're like,
would have been fine. But it's like,
that's why I migrated to sports betting because you know what time the game's going to end, right?
Yeah, and you can bet from home.
I didn't go home. You don't have to sit in a room full of crowd of people. Just fold. I think golf is long. Jeez, poker is just
brutal. Well, golf, you're at least having fun, a little action each time.
Yeah.
You golfer?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Badly.
So no, then is the answer.
So then
I'm down. Let's go.
You're one of us. Yeah, you're on our level. Yeah. Oh man.
That's great.
We're so what are some of the next modules that you're going to? So we talk about foundations, which is the kind of the foundation of everything you're building, which has some of the cashless interface. We talk about the poker analyzer. You got the pay action sports, which is actually real time, any type of input. Sports is just kind of a sexy one to talk about. What's next? Like, what are some of the next things you're creating or innovating for?
Well, I think that we're putting a lot into what we call the Acres wallet. And that's, so again, we're a facilitator, we're a platform. So a casino could bring in any payment processor that they want.
Yep.
And what we find is that those payment processors and those guys, they're looking for the path in, the user interface for their solution.
Yep.
Right. But if the casino has multiple payment processors or this payment processor plus maybe like our points are over here, our credits over here.
Yeah.
You need 3 different apps, right? So what we want one single user interface that can pull in all the stores of value from everywhere. So like in a casino, you have, in addition to cash, you have your free play, you have your points, you got your contest entries, you got, all sort casino credit, all sorts of different value categories. And with the Acres wallet, what we can do is we can essentially track all of those. And so I can give you a free play offer, send it directly to your device or to your mobile account. You can walk up to the machine, put free play on the game without having to stop at a kiosk or the Players Club or anything. So it's automatic redemption. And then you can actually withdraw that money back from the game, but it only goes back into your free play category on your device. So right now we're getting to the situation where a lot of players cannot cash out free play. Mm-hmm. So now we can make free play movable, but not make it cashable.
So you're like a switchboard for payment processing.
Exactly. And so, but it has to be switchboard. So it has to be the entire user experience though. So now we want to layer in messaging so that, hey, you only got $5 left in your credit meter. Here's a new offer to put in $20, we'll give you 25, whatever that is. We got to have the right message, but we have the ability to message the player. And then we're building in bonusing as well. So I can bonus you on your mobile device as you play, right? And so I think that's fascinating because now I can bonus you like while you're sitting there playing the game. So it could be you're playing 2 games at once, or I could time it so when you get home and you lost that $100 at the D or wherever, and you're feeling kind of like maybe I shouldn't have done that. Now I give you a second offer or a bonus game that you can play by virtue of what you did in the casino. And I can say, hey, Landon, you won $100, but it's only valid tomorrow. Or we'll double your jackpot or 10 times your points. It could be anything.
Gives me a good idea on the influencer side.
Personalized,
As like if you're like going live in a casino as an influencer.
Yep.
And they see that you're live, it's like a marketing kick, and you get like $25 or $50 as the influencer just kicked right to your phone. You can go put it on your. I'm just thinking of ideas today.
That's all you do.
You're absolutely right. And so what we see is like it's not like one bonus. We have this real estate that, and we envision people scrolling through different bonuses that they may want to participate in. So we're talking to like sports teams and celebrities, influencers, different brands that can now have their own jackpots and their own bonuses that are essentially mobile, but we still have all the information on the player. It's still associated to the base game if we want it to be. But it's huge. Like a whole new platform. It's a whole new world for gaming. That's what excites me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what's cool to me. I mean, think about this. Like we were at, we Cosmo yesterday. We had some money. We won a few bucks, and it was like, that's fun. And so maybe there's a winner, you don't get the bonus, but where it's like, hey, maybe you do. Maybe you get one of these, hey, spin. You could pick one of these 3 games. It's a wheel spin or a prize chest, just like a free games thing. And you go, tomorrow, 10 times points. So basically what they're saying is bring that $1,000 you won back and see what we can do with it, right? So like that's the sub message, but as the player, you're going, well, I'm going to get 10x points, might be a free meal, whatever. Or if you lost, you can send something and go, here's a $25 credit instead of like a multiple or whatever, but it's fun, man. Like the idea of jumping into a pool that you could pick your own game, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, there's so we could even segregate winners and losers. So you could have the people who are the jackpot for the people who are down and the jackpot for the people who are up.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Because if you walked away up, I want you back. Like that's the thing they always talk about. We're having these meetings like, yeah, somebody just hit $100,000, but I don't mind because he lives right around the street. So he's going to be back because that's, he's a local. Whereas when Landon comes to town, he wins a jackpot, he's flying out the next day, they're like, that money's gone. Right. So if you sit there and go, hey, local guy wants some money, maybe send him a multiple, maybe send him something that it's not free money, but it's going to maybe incentivize them to come back. Whereas somebody that just lost and they're down, you're like, look, you're down on your luck. Here's actual free play. Just play the money. Then that'll get them back because they're down. Right. So I would imagine the incentive for an up versus down player is probably going to differ. So it's good that you have that ability.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I don't know, but what would you want to see, man? You're a huge gambler. I always laugh. I'm like, I play, Landon plays. Like, you're the guy. So what kind of bonus would you want to see? You were up money, you're down money. I mean,
let me get my notepad.
You're the idea guy. Let's talk about it.
I think getting like additional value to your play is the most important thing, right? So if I lose $1,000 on a video poker machine, someone's like, oh, here's $20. It's like, great. That's one hand. Like,
yeah, right.
What am I going to do? I might hit a pair and then I got one other hand, right? Yeah. But just the idea of like getting me involved in things that I wouldn't have necessarily done otherwise. Like, oh, there's a Golden Knights game tonight or a Raiders game tonight, and you can just put your $20 on them to win 40. It's like, now I'm involved in another thing that I wouldn't have necessarily gotten involved. That excites me. Yeah. Or like, here's a lottery ticket. You have 5 chances to win $1 billion. Like, yeah. And now I'm thinking in a positive way as I leave the casino. Yep. So I think that they're onto it. Yeah. Because you got to differentiate yourself from other marketing programs. I mean, we've done here's an extra 20, or you lost a lot today. The host comes over and gives you a free meal, right, to a steakhouse for losing 20 grand. Thank you. But I like the idea of things that you normally wouldn't have been involved in, like a free spin to whatever it is. I think he's onto it. I mean, to me, that's what I would want.
And I don't think it has to be necessarily anything of value either. Yeah. If you just acknowledge the player.
Sometimes, yeah.
And that's all it takes in a lot of cases, because people at the end of the day, they just want to feel respected and they want to feel like their presence is valued. And, 100%. And a lot of times, I go to casinos all around the country and the world and stuff, and you walk in, you play, and what do you play? You don't know what to play. Yeah. Right? And then nobody talks to you unless you go sign up or unless something happens. And then you leave. And
even then, a lot of times they're not talking to you. So like, you can sign up for a card in. I mean, there's certain casinos, few of them, that'll go, oh, first-time player, we're going to go talk to that guy. Or girl. That's not the norm, right? Like, you get a card yesterday and we carded in, and I mean, until we hit the tax bowl, no one was going to talk to us,
right?
Which is fun. Like, for us, it doesn't bother me. But to your point, if you're a first time player and you don't know anything, like, it'd be nice to have somebody go, hey, you want to show you how to work that, or you want to quick walkthrough, or hey, you lost, but thanks for coming, right? Just a quick, we see you, we appreciate you. I mean, to your point, that probably goes a long way.
Or even like the whole player card itself, like what other industry do we say, hey, give me all your information and then go spend some money and I'll see if I want to talk to you? Yeah. That's basically the whole premise behind a player card. So I think if we move everything to mobile and we have the cash balance on the mobile, and that's where people are sending money, to the game and to the table, and we have all the loyalty, now we can start to respect people better, right? And just acknowledge them more and just tell them things that they may like to hear.
That's cool. Yeah.
I think we also, and you guys are kind of on it now, we need to do a better job of getting the actual player worth, right? Mm-hmm. Like their actual Theo, time spent, the house advantage, buy-in. When you look at table game play, I mean, you and I play blackjack, right? You start at 25, get a couple wins, then you're like 200 or 50 or 75. But the old tracking systems, the pit boss would come up. They would see that I'm playing 25, that I bought in for 400. Yep. So now I bought in at 7:00 for 400. I'm a $25 player, and then you take whatever the house average or the house advantage is of the blackjack. We'll call it 1.5% minus side bets. Now I'm a $25 player. That's nothing with a 1.5 house advantage. But technically, I'm actually like a $100 player because I'm betting 2 and 75.
Average, Especially
and so we need to do a better job of like noticing that I will lose $400 in 5 minutes, not 2 hours, right?
Yes, you will. Yeah.
And it's the same with video poker. It's these like strategy games, or we just need to do a better job of like realizing that you're a $1,000 player, not $100 player, which is what our system says. Because now when I go home, I lost $1,000. The casino thinks I'm just a chump. Like I'm not. Yeah, I am, because I don't know how to play blackjack, optimally or whatever. But we need to do a better job of managing that if we're going to be gifting away, whatever. How am I doing? I feel like I got lost there. But
You're
you
okay.
kind of get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Slots is easy.
I feel like you need a hug.
I always need a hug, but I got my hug sweater on. So slots is easy, man. Now getting creative and like figuring out what we do with the data. Slots is easy. Tables, poker.
But even that, slots, though, to your point, like I'm curious, you would know better than I would. So if you're saying that basically on slots, it's card in, card out, I guess they would know all your points by spin, because every spin you get point. I was going to say, like, is it the same thing? Because like we put, we were in a machine the other day. We put 200 in. We played it up to 8, and then we lost it all because we were like, we're chasing. So the Theo would have been, but they track all that. So my question was not going to matter because they already track.
Yeah, they track your handle pulls.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, because if they do, like, if what they're saying is you carded in at $200, you left at $800, you're plus $600. But
it doesn't matter if you do a $100 bet or something. Yeah. It'll average your bet.
Yeah, okay.
Time in, time spent.
But the entire objective in today's world is to come up with that Theo. Like, what was your theoretical loss today?
Yeah, right.
Right, and then they'll put you in the marketing campaign based off that. And I think that there's just a lot more valuable metrics than just Theo that we can look at.
And why is this is a great question. So why Theo? Because I mean, is it because actuals are hard to get, or because to the point like Lan is saying. He goes, yeah, in the table example, I'm theoretically going to lose or going to contribute X over an hour. But he's a wild guy. I mean, I play $25, $50. He'll go 25, then he'll go 100, then he'll go, I'm feeling it 300, and like he may lose that hand. And to the actual, he lost $500 in 20 minutes. Like, not forget the Theo, right? So why do we use Theo? I mean, why can't we? Is it just actuals you can't track, or what?
No, you can. I mean, in tables is different, right?
Right,
so
sure.
Tables is tough because
even in either side, yeah.
I think that in slots you can definitely get actual, but there's that variance, right? So if somebody comes in and they, they could dump $2,000 in 20 minutes just because they ran bad, but their Theo might have been $40, right? Or $100, whatever. Yeah. But it's not that they're actual. So there's oftentimes a deviance between the Theo and the actual. And our industry, the norm is more often than not to market based off the Theo.
It's risk and reward too. Like if I'm a player that's betting 500, I'm a dangerous player. Right?
Yeah, right.
I could hit 2 hands at 500, hit 15, I'm out. Right? I just won $1,000. But that 25 player is not as big of a risk. So they don't give a shit if they give you credit back. But it makes a difference at the end of the day, especially on video poker.
Yeah, if you're that big player and and I market to you off your actual, that could be a mistake because the next hand you might hit that 100K royal. Yeah. Right. So
interesting.
Pretty fascinating.
I'm sold.
Well, I'm glad you're sold. But we are kind of towards the end.
Ooh, buddy. What's your favorite part of the day?
Well, I feel like we've got some gambling stories, but I'm hoping that I can get
we talked about he gambles and we talked about things we're doing. We don't have a story of him putting money on the line, right? Not until now.
I'm guessing it's going to be a sports betting story.
Be whatever story he wants. What's up, buddy?
Pressure's on.
Mr. Gambler, you created half the stuff we're gambling on. What do you think?
I didn't create anything, but I'll tell you, I'm on a tear this football season so far. I'm up a lot, but
who's your team?
I don't have it. I'm just better, man.
You're just
that's how you know that's how you know he's an actual bettor, right? Because like a lot of guys, I'm a Raiders guy, so it's like a Raiders, and I'm a sucker because I'll bet Raiders. Like I'll bet, same with Knights. But most of the pros are going, I don't have a team. I don't have emotions about it. I just know if they're good, they're not. I'm betting it, or this is the right deal. But so what have you been tearing? Just getting good picks.
I've been just hitting everything. It's just a lot of luck. But I'll tell you, let's see, one good gambling story. I would say. When I was working at the Riviera, we had a employee poker tournament. It was $10, and the winner got an entry into like the employee WSOP event.
Yeah,
right?
Cool.
Okay. So I hit that. So I turned my 10 into like I think it was like a $1,500 entry, and then I won like 20th or something in that event, 20th or 30th. For like $2K or something like that, so I turned my 10 into 2,000.
Yeah, solid.
And then I was kind of steaming about losing.
Yeah,
like I was going for number 1, not number 20.
So I'm like walking out. I'm like, I think the Heat are gonna do it tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I'm all on the Heat, doubled up, right?
Boom.
So
then
you
one of their sports.
leverage your $2,000 onto the Heat.
So all from 10, right? And I think I hit the Heat bet, and the next day I bet something else. So all in, I went from 10 to 8K in 2 days. That was pretty sweet.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
I'm the better where like people, I always ask, who you betting on? They're like, the Broncos. And I'm like, okay, I'll bet the other team. And I usually end up winning.
Thanks,
it's like, who are you betting?
Yeah.
I'll bet the other guy.
You don't know what you're doing, so I'm just going to go against. Yeah, that's funny. Well, the Riviera going, so that might have been Alonzo Mourning winning you a little money on that one.
That was LeBron on the Heat.
Oh, it was? Yeah, okay, so yeah.
Playoffs or something.
Yeah, there you go. The big three, Bosch and Wade hooking it up. That's awesome, man. Yeah, good gambling. I don't have runs like that. I give, we'll do good luck on blackjack, and then, I don't typically parlay it on something else. But
that's the great. I mean, to me, that's the great thing about gambling in general and sports betting in particular is it can be really, there's the downswings and you just feel like crap, and there's the upswings, and you're like, oh my god, I'm just.
Well, my favorite thing is to follow all these bettors on Twitter. So I'll watch a game, and I'm watching the game just to enjoy it, right? And then I don't usually have money on the game, and then. But you'll see like, I can't believe they let him get that garbage time field goal. You just blew the spread, right? So now half the guys are pissed because the garbage touchdown was allowed or whatever. And I'm like, wow, this is intense, man. The feelings are real because you got to watch to the last minute because your team may win, but they didn't win by 6, so they win by 8.
Yeah, that's why I like the money line because I like my my interest to be aligned with the team.
Sure, yeah, for sure. Well, I'm like, if I bet puck line hockey because I'm like, you could get better odds.
Yeah.
You bet odds. They got to win by 2, but it's like, your odds are pretty good. So that's where then they go, they got the the empty net goals, which is what can change that for you. So it's like, oh, you're winning by 1, empty netter, you win 2, and now you hit the extra money. So,
and that's the great thing about betting hockey too, is in the puck line, they're always trying to score the entire game. Like
for sure,
like in football, you're taking a knee if you got the game in the bag, but in hockey, they're trying to score until the last second.
That net exists, we're firing at it. Yeah, no doubt. Oh,
cool.
Well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
So, we always ask, who should we go to next? Who do you think we should chat with in a future episode?
Oh man, have you talked to Seth Shore? I just talked to Seth a little bit ago.
We talked to Seth.
Oh, my
yeah,
bad.
I mean, we can't have him back.
He was
it's been
great.
a while, but
I've never met this person, and I've never even spoken with him, but I've always heard about Ernie Moody.
Okay.
With the triple
that would
play.
be a good
I've
one.
heard of that.
And
yeah.
I've
Ernie
just
Moody
by
would be
virtue of
good.
me never talking to him or hearing from him, I'd like to hear his story. Personally.
Did he
so.
invented a bunch of stuff?
Triple
So
play,
wait, you
right?
don't know Ernie,
Not at all, huh?
so that's nothing for us.
No, but it's okay.
Ernie, if you're
I could not
listening-
make the trend.
You know who I bet knows him?
Who?
EK Gaming LLC. The boys over at Others. You know why I say that? Because I'm pretty sure the first time we
Another
went to
sponsor of the podcast.
they're solid guys. But then once because when we went to their awards show like 2-3 years ago, I think they inducted him into their Hall of Fame.
Oh, we can get.
I'm pretty sure. So we can ask them. If not, anyone knows Ernie, tile us in. We'd love to chat with them, and that'd be fun.
That'd be a bad database acquisition strategy if you're putting somebody in the Hall of Fame and not getting their contact info.
We threw a banquet in your honor.
We don't know what
can't give you their
system to
stuff.
go with.
I'm pretty sure he was
We're
inducted. I
confused
hope
before
I'm
this
not. Yeah, I hope I'm
conversation.
not wrong about that. But no, that'll be fun. This.
Well, did we miss anything? Is there anything that you're pining to get out on the pod?
No, thanks for having me. That was great.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
And thanks for sponsoring the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for
That's been huge. And
thanks for doing what you do. This is great. I really enjoy it. I think the production value is tremendous, and just hearing all the different folks you have on and getting their stories and their takes on things is really great. So, congrats to you guys. I know you guys made the big move leaving the company and.
Wear T-shirts now. It's good. And
We're still doing the podcast out of the dining room of my house.
That's right. We got other plans coming, right?
But it's a nice dining room. So.
Hell of a table.
Hell of a table.
Well, right on, brother. We appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Yeah.
Rock and roll.